Hello and welcome back to gym class. You guys made it through orientation. I'm super excited to talk labels with you guys today, as well as healthy eating habits. Now, I've only been doing this with you guys for about a week, and you guys have been amazing. I see you guys cleaning out the fridge, replacing all your sodas and snacks and just crazy things that we all have eaten at one point, still eat, whatever. Whether it's a small change or a big change, like pat yourself on the back. Celebrate your wins wherever you can get them. Today, I just want to focus on healthier eating habits and the labels because last week I was very active in our group and was just really not so much focused on exactly what you guys were eating, but getting you guys to focus on what you guys were eating. And whether you knew it or not, I think you guys actually probably paid more attention to what you were eating throughout the week than what you usually do, and maybe more than what you were actually aware of. So today I have like some of my favorite things that we have here on deck that I go to. I just love them. Some of my favorites. I have some of these and just like some regular juice. Reason being, I want to be able to compare and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about while I talk about it. So before we get started with the labels, I just want you guys to understand that a lot of these things that you're doing slowly but surely will become habits if you're consistent with it. So I see that a lot of people are starting to eat breakfast that maybe didn't eat breakfast before. That's a big deal. You don't want your body thinking that you're starving it for absolutely no reason, and then it's storing all of your fat just because it has no idea when you're going to give it what it wants and what it needs throughout the day. So happy for you guys with that, as well as you guys, focusing on lunch and dinner as well. You guys don't just like do good for breakfast and then blow it throughout the day. Like I've seen you guys be really consistent throughout the week. If you haven't, that's okay. You have to start somewhere. So don't beat yourself up. Just make a plan to start and actually focus on starting your plan, whatever it is, whether it be like mapping out what you're gonna have for the next couple of days, whether you meal prep, whether you are making a grocery list for when you go to the grocery store, just different things that you may have not done before that you are doing now. Like, let's focus on keeping that consistent, and it will become habit, trust me. And then when you are outside of that habit, like, your body will let you know for sure. So don't want to waste any more of your time. I just want to talk to you guys about labels, because now that you are more focused on what you're actually eating, I want you guys to pay attention to what some of that stuff has in it, because I saw a lot of smoothies last week and juices and stuff, and that's cool, but a lot of this stuff like this, I don't think people are really aware of, like, the sugar intake. And sugar, like I always tell people, it finds a nice little cozy home in your belly, and it just really just sticks there. So for drinks like this, these are some of my favorite drinks. Okay, it says all natural, which a lot of fruit and fruit juices and stuff does have a lot of natural sugar in it. But when you flip this thing over to the back, I want you guys to be able to see that. Hopefully it's not blurry. Maybe. There we go. But if you look at it, this thing has 24 grams of sugar, and that includes 20 grams of added sugar. So what that means is that there's already sugar in like the pineapple juice, the mango, and stuff like that. But if you look back here, they also added some cane sugar. So this thing is packed with sugar, and that's just for the serving size, which is another thing I want you guys to pay attention to. So the serving size is 8 fluid ounces. So 8 ounces is just like basically the normal serving size for most drinks, like whether it be water, whatever. So with this one, 24 grams of sugar in 8 ounces, it may not sound like a lot, but for sugar, that is a lot. So when I have this, usually I may use less than the serving size to make my own smoothie, or I just skip it all together, which is why this thing is like practically almost full. If I just want something for flavor other than water, me personally, and this is just my personal preference, I know some people don't like zero drinks, but this is one of my favorite, the Powerade Zero. So with this, there's no added sugars, there's no sugars. It's like no fat, 0 calories. So I always go for 0 low calorie drinks, or no sugar, or natural sugar. Like I don't do too much of the added sugar when it comes to my weight loss. Now I used to drink 2 20-ounce Dr. Peppers a day. So I'll let you guys look into that if you even care to know my sugar intake just from that stuff. Okay, another thing, like these right here, really good snack. I love them. I think it says like 9 whole grains and no high fructose corn syrup. Okay, then you get to the back. It's 100 calories, 17 carbs, and total sugars is 7, which includes the added sugars. Okay, when you compare this stuff right here, which is the Kind brand, and this is a kid's version just because I figure if, you know, it's good for your kids, it's got to be good for me, right? So I just prefer this one over this one. A little less carbs, less sugar. So this one has 15 carbs, 5 sugars, and the same amount of calories, 100 calories, but the serving size is 1 bar. Reason why I keep stressing the serving size is because not all serving size is 1 bar or 1 bottle or 1 piece. Like, you have to read it, you guys, because especially with like your terrible stuff like these things. Okay, so a lot of people would read this and be like, oh, this bag has 170 calories. And it's like, no, the serving size for those 170 calories is the 170. This whole bag has a whopping 450. Therefore, you obviously wouldn't want to eat the whole bag. So you just have to really pay attention definitely to the serving size and then compare it with the facts here. So like 3 of these, the total sugar 18 grams, still quite a bit of sugar. So I don't usually have the serving size on these. I usually just have 1. This is not the regular size, it is the thin joint. So I will open it and show you. It's a lot thinner and a lot smaller than the actual regular size of the Reese's. So you just want to be very mindful of those things when you're making changes, because a lot of this stuff, just because it says like you know, oh, it only has this many calories, or what does this one say, 25% less sugar, you automatically think, oh yeah, it's got to be healthy. Please read your labels. Now, this is probably a lot better, there's no doubt in my mind, to eat this than this. But also, you don't want to go and have 2 or 3 of these a day either. I usually have 1 with like a yogurt, maybe. It just depends on what I have going on throughout the day. Also, I try to be mindful of what my day consists of, because there's some days where I need more carbs and there's some days where I'm not doing as much, so I don't need as many carbs. When I have more activity such as work and constantly going, obviously I need some carbs so that my body doesn't get tired and I do have the energy. Not all carbs are bad. So you just have to, like I said, know and understand the difference of exactly, what is what and what you're actually putting in your body. Just because it says less sugar or gluten-free or whatever, like that doesn't mean that it's perfect for what you have going on throughout the day or your weight loss journey. So as far as these are my favorite. Now, the serving size on these is 1 tortilla. Okay, so obviously they're pretty small. I'll show you guys compared to a regular size tortilla. They do have the regular size ones, but they have the small ones as well. So this is pretty small, same size as my face almost. But I use these mainly for breakfast tacos or breakfast burritos, or just to replace something that I may put on a slice of bread. Now someone did suggest for the bread, the Sara Lee 45. I do like it, but it does have more carbs than this right here. So I think this is going to be something I stick to and just do the bread seldomly. I don't really, not big on sandwiches. I use the bigger version of these tortillas for wraps and things of that nature if I want a burrito, but definitely if I'm having a taco, it's got to be the small joint. Reason being, there's only 45 calories in this, three net carbs, they're high in fiber, and this is one of my my favorite go-tos when it comes to replacing bread. It made it a lot easier because I grew up in a house where you had bread with every meal, and as I got older, I just realized, you don't really need bread with every single thing that you eat. You just don't. So that was something that I did struggle with cutting out of my diet, but now when I have it, it's definitely a lot of whole grains and wheat, nothing white for the most part, other than the tortillas. And they do have those in the wheat options. The taste, on a scale of 1 to 10 for the wheat, is probably about an 8 for me, as to where those are 10. So it's just all about preference and what you prefer. Another thing I wanted to touch on, as far as reading the labels, you would be surprised as far as you think if it's low sugar, no sugar, it's not going to taste as good. Sometimes it's an acquired taste, and you just have to train this little thing inside of your head that this is for the better for you, and it will be better for you in the long run. A lot of stuff like the diet sodas, I'm not really a big fan of. I always went for the, and I say went for is because I don't really have them anymore at all, and I used to drink them probably once a day. Once I started to come off of the Dr. Pepper, I went to the zero options, Sprite Zero, Coke Zero were my favorite, but I rarely even do those anymore. A lot of this stuff we probably had in our pantry for at least a few weeks, up to a month or whatnot. So when you guys are adding these things or looking at options in the store, just take a extra second to flip the pack over, flip the bottle over, and just read and compare the labels. A lot of people say, well, that takes a lot of time, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, this is something that you have to look at as an investment. And usually an investment doesn't, you don't reap the rewards from an investment overnight. In most situations. So just treat this the same way. It's more of a long-term investment, but slowly but surely you'll start to adjust, your body will start to adjust, and it will become habit. You just have to stay as consistent as possible. Now, don't get me wrong, my juices and stuff, like I said, I still put some of this stuff in my smoothies if I want to, but it's not always a go-to. Like if I just want something to drink, I try to stick to the zero options just to cut my sugar intake for the day. Now my sugar intake for the day, with like added sugar and like as far as snacks and different things that aren't naturally in the food, I try to keep that to 20 grams or less. That's just me. Still sounds like a lot throughout the day, but if you really read everything that you eat, you're gonna notice that there's sugar in almost every single thing that you eat. So a lot of this stuff you want to avoid, things that have the added sugars and like high grams of sugar. I think one of my favorite sodas, I went to take a drink of it one day, Tahitian Treat, and I just so happened to flip the bottle over as I took a drink, turned it around, saw that it had like 84 grams of sugar. That's a lot of sugar for one bottle of soda. So you just have to, like I said, just be mindful of the labels and what this stuff may actually contain. I'm not saying don't ever have your favorite stuff. It's just not a good idea to have it every single day, and definitely not a good idea to have it 3 times a day every single day. And that's what I was doing to myself, and I noticed that it was detrimental to my weight loss. It didn't matter how much I worked out. It didn't matter how active I was during the day or anything like that. And the thing with sugar is like the more you put in there, the harder the crash is going to be. So like the energy drinks, those are full of sugar. Sports drinks, juices, those pre-bottled smoothies. I don't have one handy because I don't drink those. I used to a long time ago, probably like on one of my failed diets. But again, I made the changes where they were necessary. Just after, being curious as to what I was eating and drinking. So, you guys definitely are headed in the right direction. I just don't want you to be misled, like, just because it says that, oh, it's a smoothie, that it's healthy, or, oh, it's this, it's, low calorie this or low calorie that. Like, just flip it over, look at it, and then adjust your serving as you see fit. But that's pretty much it for today. I don't want to hold you guys too long, rambling on and on about your sugar intake and all that stuff, because, you guys are doing really well, and I want to keep you guys encouraged, but I also want to keep you guys educated as much as I can with things that I found out just from trial and error, because I was just shoving everything in that I thought was healthy. Oh, juice has to be healthier than soda. Well, yeah, some of the juice has just as much sugar as the soda. So, it wasn't as healthy as I thought it was, and there was nobody there to tell me anything different. So, I just want to thank you guys again for joining me for gym class. And next week, we'll be going over portion control, because that's also a big deal and a big thing that can be detrimental to your weight loss. Like, you can be eating the right stuff but just not in the correct portion, and that can hurt you just as much as it can help you, and I'm here to help you. So once again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for checking out gym class and being a part of this with me and allowing me to be a part of this with you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Again, you can reach me at ericakane.gymclass@gmail.com. Pretty much any time of day. It may take me a sec to get back to you, but I will get back to you. I'm not going to hang you out to dry. I didn't bring you this far to just leave you out there by yourself to sink or swim. We're all in this together. I love you guys. Have a good evening.